Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. This is continuation of the chapter one. We have read about 13 points or verses from the chapter one. Now we are continuing. Just to remind you that this text is from Yoga Vasishta Sara from Ramnashram. Bhagavan Ramana has chosen 10 slokas, and the description is given here. So let us continue. Just as an ornament worn around the neck is considered lost through forgetfulness and is gained when the mistake is realized, so also the self is attained when the delusion is removed by the words of Guru. He is indeed an unfortunate person who, not knowing his own self, takes pleasure in sense objects like one who realizes too late that the food eaten by him was poisonous. That perverted man who, even after knowing that worldly objects are deceptive, still thinks of them is an ass, not a man. Even the slightest thought immerses a man in sorrow. When devoid of all thoughts, he enjoys imperishable bliss. Just as we experience the delusion of hundreds of years in a dream lasting an hour, so also we experience the sport of Maya in our waking state. He is a happy man whose mind is inwardly cool and free from attachment and hatred, and who looks upon this world like a mere spectator. He who has understood well how to abandon all ideas of acceptance and rejection, and who has realized the consciousness which is within the innermost heart, his life is illustrious. On the dissolution of the body, the ether, that means the consciousness, limited by the heart, hridayam, also cease to exist. People lament needlessly that self is extinct. When pots, etc., are broken, the space within them becomes unlimited. So, also, when bodies cease to exist, the self remains eternal and unattached. Nothing whatever is born or dies anywhere at any time. It is Brahman alone appearing illusorily in the form of the world. The self is more extensive than space. It is pure, subtle, undecaying, and auspicious. As much how could it be born and how can it die? All this is tranquil, one without beginning, middle, or end, which cannot be said to be existent or non existent. Know this and be happy. O Rama, it is indeed nobler to wander begging about the streets of the outcasts, that is Chandalas, on an earthen ball in hand, and to live a life steeped in ignorance. Neither disease, nor poison, nor adversity, nor any other thing in the world causes more suffering to men than such stupidity endangered in their bodies. So let us try to understand what has been mentioned here. If you notice, these verses are actually talking about that there is something called self. Self is the one, means it is personal. That is nothing but Atma. And in Christianity or in other religions, they say it is like a soul. So soul is has got a very loose meaning, but let's say when we say Atma, Atma in Sanskrit means aham, nenu, nadi. That means the thing is that it is me. That is so self. Self means it is so personal. That is the reason why using the word self or Atma is more appropriate here. So, in fact, if you see the same self is talked in Bhagavad Gita. The other classes we are trying to learn, and in coming chapters we will come to know about Bhagavad Gita and other things. So the same thing is here. So Vasishta Maharshi is actually telling Rama that bodies are covering of the self and they are illusory. For example, in the dream, we dream. When we get into the dream, if you notice that the world is created in split of seconds or nanoseconds, it doesn't take any effort to create the world. So we need to really understand where these objects are suddenly sprung up in the creation. We are actually in a dream world. We get into buses, we live in big palaces, or probably we are looking at the sky or stars, or we are sleeping on the floor, or we may be seeing a dirty place, whatever it may be, as per the vasanas or tendencies of the mind. So now the thing is here, how the world is being created there. And when we are in the dream, we have the same emotions like we are in waking state. That means in jagrat, right now what we are doing is that same kind of a thing. We feel hunger and we like to eat in the dream. We feel thirsty and we like to drink water. So whatever the emotions are going, whatever emotions we are experiencing in dream world are same like in jagrat. But only the problem what we say is that when we wake up, that particular world is disappeared, and the world that is jagrat is which comes up. Automatically it comes at the moment the consciousness, the self comes into, that means the mind is started recognizing that this is the world. Automatically the world is created here. That is what Vasishta Maharshi is actually mentioning, that without, if we don't understand these things, that means worldly objects are deceptive. Deceptive means what? These really do not have existence. Please don't think that the what we feel or touch or smell is reality. I don't know how many of you seen a movie called Matrix. Matrix is entirely based on Yoga Vasistha and Bhagavad Gita. It's all on these things. So they say that, the Keanu Reeves, the actor who is taken to a ship where he's transported to a dream world which he feels real, but through an attachment to his at the back of the head. So the Morpheus asks him very clearly, what do you, he touches a particular chair. He says, what you touch and hear, smell, you think is real? He says, think about it. It is not real. So this is what thousands of year back Maharshi, that means Vasistha Maharshi, is telling Rama that the worldly objectives are deceptive. And if you still think that these are the things, he's comparing to an ass as a donkey. That means a donkey is known for its ignorance and things like that. That is what is that it is there. So now the 17th one specially is very interesting. Even the slightest thought immerse in a man in sorrow. When devoid of all thoughts, he enjoys imperishable bliss. That means devoid of thoughts. What makes this world real? Our own thinking. Thought patterns actually do that. What happened to those thought patterns? When we are in deep sleep, we experience great bliss and peace. That means even that kind of a bliss and peace, we can actually bring it in the reality. That means in Jagrat, in waking, by practicing. That is what is being told in the previous verses. That is most important. So the same thing what happens, the time is again an illusion. We think that in this jagrat, going from one place to another place takes a lot of time. This is the time concept is only in the mind. Whereas in the dream, we same thing, we travel. Sometimes we think that you got into a flight and you go to US or some place in a jiffy. But going to the US and everything, it takes probably anything between 8 hours to 12 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours, depending on the place where you're staying in the planet Earth. So that means it is an illusion. Time is a sort of a deception. The mind creates it. That is nothing but Maya. So this is what we need to really understand this. Maya is nothing but the mind is making you real, that these objects, this is what is real. That is the illusion. That is the clutch mind keeps in that. To breaking free from is the free from bondage. That is what is being told in 19. He is a happy man whose mind is inwardly cool, free from attachment and hatred, who looks upon this world like a mere spectator. That means, though we live in this world, though we do our transactions, though we behave in a different manner, though we interact with different people, you're with your wife, kids and children and everything, with a sense of understanding that this is an illusion, but I am here to perform certain things, be a mere spectator, be an observer or a sakshi, and inwardly, you with an understanding, you be cool. So you, if you are in that particular state, you neither love anybody nor hate anybody. Understand these love and hate, again these are thoughts, the emotions, emotional thought, that again will bring people into either pleasure or pain. So that is the reason why Maharshi is telling Rama that better to be, better to have that mind inwardly, inward journey, take the inward journey, so that you are cool and you understand that. That is what he's saying that. And uh, and another good point, what he's saying is that since self is existing everywhere, the consciousness, this is like electricity. For example, electricity is into a bulb, and bulb filament goes off, doesn't mean that electricity is gone. Same thing is with atma. Atma can go into different bodies. Atma is in me, you, in the store, in the ant, in the tree, in animals, everywhere it is there. Its atma uses its a body like an instrument to experience certain things, but realizing that will free from the maya, and we can live life peacefully. That is what is important. So there is nothing to grieve if somebody dies, because atma will never die, and only atma is existing, nothing else is existing. So what is there to really cry and fret about? That is what is important. So nothing, 23rd is very clear, nothing whatever is born or dies at any time, it is Brahman. Brahman is nothing but that self alone, alone appearing illusion in the form of the world. So that is what is most important. So in the 24, self is more extensive than a space. Supposing it is, what is the space? For example, we take a glass of glass bottle and we put the lid. So what is between the, inside the glass bottle is a space. We also have space in our body. Without space we cannot function. So now the thing is, atma is more than the space. The space is also existing in atma or the self. So it is more than the space. So then how the self or the atma can die? It's a very logical and commonsensical question. If we think deeply, you can really understand this particular thing. So this is what is most important. So he's saying very thing. For example, the more we get into this world, and what we try to do is that we try to strive, we try to accumulate things and everything. That it doesn't mean that those are things are bad or something. While you have lot of wealth and everything, you can be still be attached. So what he's saying is that if you're not able to control and things like that, you look at the guy who is actually the living on the, is like a beggar. A chandala means as a beggar who is actually begging with a pot of with a bowl in his hand. He is much more free, because he is free to go anywhere, he can feast with it. What Maharshi is actually is emphasizing, that the freedom, not that we have to become beggars for tomorrow. So the thing idea is that beggarliness, it has to be inside our mind. That means we don't own anything in this particular life. That is what is most important. So that is what is Maharshi is actually telling Rama, because he's telling all these things to Rama. Please understand, Rama has already done his Gurukul. He understands all the Shastras. He knows what is Veda. That is the reason why he actually got into Vairagya, sort of a depression. He got it looking at this world. So he's trying to look at, what Rama is actually is looking for is a solution, how to apply this particular knowledge in life. So for that, Maharshi is actually taking him step by step, explaining him how the world is, how is it. In coming chapters, it will be even more interesting. It actually gives practical tips for us to understand how to implement this in life. And please note that if you have a scientific bent of mind, Vasishta Maharshi is actually talking about quantum physics, quantum entanglement, or quantum mechanics, and everything. Now the scientists are also coming to that. The latest Nobel Prize for 2022 is given to a scientist who proved that world is illusion. So science is also coming to that. So this particular knowledge in Yoga Vasishta is purely scientific. If we adapt to this particular knowledge, our life will become even easier while doing our duties. This does not tell you that leave everything and go. Please understand that with this knowledge only, Rama, when he came to know that he'll become tomorrow a king for the he'll become prince or a king for this particular kingdom, he has not shown any kind of happiness. He just said that so be it. Then at the same day night, when he was told that you have to leave for Aranyar or the forest, he said, so be it. For him, because since this is an illusion, he has taken it both the thing. That is the reason why Ramo Vigrahan Dharma. That is the reason why we have to really emulate Rama for those qualities. But just by thinking about the qualities will not help you to really make you Rama, but understanding the story behind, the concept behind why Rama has become like that is most important. And we are fortunate to go through a very short and crisp book by Ramanashram, where they have actually concisely they have mentioned the it's like bullet points they gave it to for us to understand and start putting in our life. Thank you very much. Hope you have enjoyed. Leave any comments. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.